Well, first of all, honor your roots because they are your strength. No matter where you come from, you can build bridges across different cultures and create impact. So, yeah, with empathy, with courage, be also humble and collaborate.
Hello everyone, welcome to the WODIGI Podcast, where we celebrate female entrepreneurs who have used digital marketing to grow their businesses. Through the journeys, challenges, and successes, we'll discover how digital tools can be leveraged for autonomy, visibility, and impact. Today, we're joined by Djane Vasconcelos, a business development and marketing professional with over 18 years of international experience across Europe, Brazil, and even the States. She's also currently developing an association, SocioBio Hub, an international network supporting fair and sustainable socio-bioeconomy. From managing global partnerships for major companies and taking part in this new initiative, Jane's journey is one of connection between people, continents, and ideas. With both experiences in business and nonprofit, she embodies how digital tools and entrepreneurship can serve both business growth and social impact. Today, she shares her perspective on digital marketing and how we can empower women. Jane, welcome. We're so excited to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So my first question, the first that came to my mind when I wanted to interview you is what exactly inspired you to join an initiative like SocioBio Hub? And how has your personal journey between Brazil, the States, and Europe influenced your work?
So, what inspired me was my journey across these regions that showed me how innovation, sustainability, and inclusion can coexist. So, Social BioHub was born from a desire to connect traditional knowledge from Brazil with European innovation and global collaboration, creating these bridges between communities that actually rarely can meet because of where they are located in Brazil.
So mixing two different perspectives.
Exactly.
That's bound to be very interesting.
Yeah, and obviously using digital tools. That is what makes the project possible.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Throughout your career, you've worked with major companies such as Galileo in France or Henkel and Agilize in Brazil. What lessons from that corporate experience have you brought into this project? And what strategies used at the scale of big companies could be used for smaller, purpose-driven initiatives?
Okay, just a little clarification. Agilize, I worked in Italy, and it was like a startup, a fintech startup environment.
Okay.
So, which I think is very interesting because, as you said, I worked for big corporations in Brazil and also in the US and in Europe, especially in Amsterdam. Working in large corporations and also startups taught me that structure, accountability, and the power of a clear process can help a professional and its teams. So I've adapted those methods like project management and data-driven decision making to small purpose-driven initiatives like Social Bio Hub, making them more efficient without losing their human focus and touch.
That's a nice way to see things. You've worked in marketing for a long time. Now, digital tools have a lot of importance in today's world. If you had to talk about one tool or principle that makes a difference for visibility and impact, what would it be and why?
Well, I would talk about collaboration because collaboration takes time and it helps to build trust, and that is the real currency of change. Trust. I also learned that sustainability is not just about the environment, it's also about cultural and economic areas. So we need all these layers to build a long-lasting impact project.
Actually, that's also the thing, is that's a discussion that you guys will be able to find in Tiana's episode. The thing with marketing and tools is that tools are always evolving, and actually what they teach now in school is that to stick to such principles so that you can always also stay ahead of the curve.
Definitely. Keep learning and being aware of what is happening. As you mentioned, new tools. As we know, some people, they at the beginning, even now, there's some sort of blockage or difficulty to accept artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
But there is no way back.
Yeah, of course. And once we've accepted that, maybe there's going to be something else we have to tackle.
Definitely. So we need to be aware of these new tools and be very, very open-minded and keep learning every single day.
So in a way, marketing is also about having the right mindsets.
Definitely. I agree.
So also one very important thing in your journey is that you've worked across several countries and continents. You're originally from Brazil and now you're working in France. What barriers have you encountered as a woman working in marketing and business development, especially in environments that might not always be inclusive? How did you manage that?
About what I encountered as challenges, mainly, and even in my own country, Brazil, bias for the fact that I am a woman. In Brazil, I worked in the telecom environment. Many times, I was the only woman in the room, and I was underestimated all the time. And the fact also that I was not only the only woman, but many times the youngest as well, sitting on the table. And I loved when at the beginning people would even, I was already a manager, people would think that I was an intern and I would just play the game. And as the things evolved, I would see their faces like, oh, yeah, indeed, she knows something.
Yeah.
And sometimes even in the end, they would come and give me feedback saying, hey, wow, thanks for your presentation.
You're competent.
Yeah, you are competent. So looking forward to collaborate with you. So yeah, bias, definitely, and underestimation a lot. But as I said, I learned to transform them into motivation, because every time that happened, I was so upset.
Yeah.
That fueled my
rage to prove them wrong.
Definitely. But of course, keeping my smile, calm, and then I focus in collaboration, leading by example, prove that I was capable of. So this challenge always put me on fire. And joining initiatives like a SocioBio Hub, it means open the doors for these other women, because lots of small businesses in Amazonia, for example, are led by women.
So throughout all those years in marketing and sales and business development, it also meant that you had to move around a lot, and moving to a new country often means also rebuilding networks, credibility, confidence. What helped you navigate this process each time?
Already, when I was a child in Brazil, my father had a job who moved us quite often. Since a child, I had to develop this internal muscle of flexibility, being ready to adapt to new environments, because Brazil, you have to understand, is a continental country, and even the states, they have cultural differences. So the north states are hotter in terms of temperature, and people are more happy, they're
the vibe is different.
Yeah, exactly. South is more like European style. So that means I had to be very open, very flexible, very adaptable to sometimes every year making new friends. That was very hard as a child.
Definitely.
We have to learn not to be so shy because you need to make the new friends, as I said, and also afterwards, when I did for professional reasons, you have to be very open, kind of laugh about yourself, because even though I speak fluently 4 languages, especially in France, I still hear, oh, you have a little accent, and I say, yes, indeed.
Oh,
I speak 4 languages.
Seriously?
How about you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
French people can be very judgy about language.
Totally. But then I just laugh at myself and I say, oh, it's a charm. And then I just try to use it as an advantage. Another thing that keeps helping me even nowadays is join communities like Place Network. I'm an alumni of a Fast Forward program, which I really like. It is the only place that I really feel that I can be myself, that I feel part of the community, that I'm always happy to participate of other programs. I'm also part of the Migration Impact Network, and I'm very proud of that. In all these places that I lived, in Switzerland, in the US, I organized as a volunteer events for expat people. Yeah, being part of these communities is key. That is really my key advice for everyone that navigates different cultures.
And also showing a bit of curiosity, getting to know where you're...
Definitely. Good that you mentioned that. Being open-minded but very curious. Yeah. Curious to try new food, new drinks, so to experience fully the culture. That is something also that I think had helped me a lot. When I arrive, I never go to try to find a Brazilian supermarket. Yeah. It's the contrary. I want to go to the best places to try the cuisine, the local gastronomy. Yeah. So yeah, definitely curiosity. Thanks for bringing that up.
And also, from what I've seen, you started your careers in the 90s. And therefore, you were lucky enough to witness the transition to digital tools. How did you stay confident and curious while learning all those new things? And even in today's world, that's very fast changing, especially in marketing. How did you navigate that?
Again, curiosity, and also start simple, but be also very, very aware of the trends. Mm-hmm. I do remember in Brazil when I was a child and my father enrolled me in a course to do programming. I was really small. Yeah. And I said, Dad, I don't want to do that sport. I want to play with my friends. He's like, daughter, this is the future. Yeah. He was so right.
Definitely.
And thanks to that, I am so tech savvy. Mm-hmm. Everything in terms of technology, systems, CRM, other things, I learned so fast thanks to that experience that I kept in my life afterwards. So every time something new appears, again, I don't resist. I want to go and learn as fast as I can. But again, you can start simple. You have so many free collaboration tools like Canva, Notion, the Google Workspace, YouTube. You have so many free stuff to learn so many different things. So yeah, so learn to tell your story online, be authentic and be consistent no matter what, because it's better done than perfect. Exactly. You cannot wait to be perfect to do something. Just keep evolving.
That's still something I'm learning myself. I'm too much of a perfectionist.
We all are.
And that's actually perfect, because the next question I intended to ask you was for migrant women and entrepreneurs who are just starting to explore digital tools. Where would you recommend they begin?
Well, first of all, honor your roots because they are your strength. No matter where you come from, you can build bridges across different cultures and create impact. So yeah, with empathy, with courage, be also humble and collaborate.
And that's a beautiful message. If one day someone who wants to start their own project was coming to you and saying, I see all those things I have to learn and it scares me, what would you tell them? Well, because when you don't know much about it, it seems very scary.
Yeah, but as we mentioned in the other question, is about start small. Yeah. It's hard because since a while ago, I've never thought of me as a courageous person.
Really?
Yeah, and other peers told me, are you crazy?
Yeah.
And then I realized, yeah, indeed, because imagine when you arrive in a country, you don't know anybody. I like to use the example of the Netherlands. When I got the job offer, I had never been there in my whole life. I had never touched the Dutch soil. And then I said, you know what? I go. If I don't like it, I just quit. Yeah. It was the best experience ever. Amsterdam is one of my favorite cities. I still have dear friends there. And it was such great opportunity and experience in all levels. Yeah. Personal, professional, cultural. It was super cool.
Yeah. No regrets then.
No.
Yeah, that's
Just
courageous.
go.
Are you kidding me? 7 countries.
Yeah.
Come on. And looking back at your journey so far, what has been your biggest moment of pride?
Yeah, it's hard to pick, but I am very proud of this project that I joined, the SocioBio Hub, because of everything we already said about it, and it's a subject that is very important to build these bridges. I'm very proud to be part of this project, and I'm also proud to be part of the place community.
Hey.
Totally.
And also, new territory. You're recording a podcast.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, well, thanks to you, I'm training. I'm getting there.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
And then I have one last question for you. What do you hope women listening to this episode, what do you want them to take away from your story?
Be open, as I was open when I got this job opportunity. Especially, I went also not only to a country that I had never been before, but it was a sector. It was to work in a direct marketing company that does fundraising for nonprofit.
Okay.
I had done project management and business development for so many different sectors, but not that one.
Not this one, yeah.
And I excelled in that opportunity, and I did great results. So yeah, be open.
Well, I think that's an amazing principle to end with. Point is, don't be afraid to conquer new territories. Start small, do your thing, and you're gonna be fine. Djane, thank you for participating to your first podcast.
Yes.
It was really interesting, but also inspiring to talk about it with you. So, guys, I hope you like this episode. Don't forget to share, to like if you're seeing this on another platform. And don't forget to reach out and tell us what you think. And I hope you will be as inspired as I was today. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.